Hello and welcome to Winslow Academy. This is part 7 in our network basic tutorial. This is about ports and protocols. If you haven't yet seen the first 6 parts, I recommend you to do so in order to understand the full scope of this lecture. So, in the last lecture we discussed TCP and UDP, which is two communication protocols. And we'll start this off by discussing ports, because ports, when talking about communication, and especially network communication, is an essential topic, because the ports allow us to have multiple apps to use a network connection, meaning that we can have several apps running on our device that is communicating over the network because they rely on these different ports. So on our device we have 65,535 ports which we can choose from. And some of these ports are already assigned as default ports to different protocols, which you will see in a minute. So a port can, for example, be seen in the end of an IP. For example, we have the IP right here, and then this is port 80, meaning that whatever communication that is going to happen here is to this IP on port 80. So there is something listening on this IP at this port for some kind of information. And as you see right here, we have a lot of different ports. So let's see what can be in these ports. So on a network, and when communicating over the network, we have several protocols. We have seen some of them before in the previous lectures, but here we will refresh some of them and what kind of port they use and what they are used for. And as you see here, we have different ports. We have FTP, HTTP, SMTP, SSH, POP3, and so on. Some of them probably already are quite familiar to you, as you have been using the network and using browsing on your browser. So the most common protocol that you might have used is HTTP or HTTPS, which we will discuss in a minute as well. And these most likely have some default ports assigned to them, because since we use these protocols so much in our everyday communication, it makes sense to have default ports assigned to them. But ports used for FTP or SFTP also have default ports, but even though they are default, they can be changed, meaning that you might see FTP communication if you do a network scan that is not happening on the default port because the people who use this FTP connection has changed the port. You will often see this when people try to put some kind of security on the network communication, even though it is not that secure, because you can just scan for open ports and find out that this has changed, but it will give you some kind of basic security, because if newbies are trying to use the standard port, they will not find anything. But you should not just only change the port and then think, okay, I'm secure now. You're not. But we will discuss that in later lectures. So some of the protocols that we have, if it's FTP, which uses port 21 as its standard port, and it uses TCP protocol as its communication protocol, which we discussed in the last lecture. So FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and we use this to transfer files over the network. And this is a insecure communication type because our files is not encrypted, meaning that anyone can airdrop in and see what kind of information we are basically transferring. And that is why we need a more secure protocol, which is SFTP, and that uses standard port 2022. And this is also TCP. This is the encrypted version of FTP, and it uses SSH for its encryption, and this is way more secure than FTP. So if you're going to transfer anything online, for example files to a web host, then be sure to use SFTP just for good measure. And then we have SMTP. Most of you have already been interacting with the last two, because when you are mailing and having a mail client on your device, you'll be using these protocols. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and the standard default port for this is 25. This is also TCP as well as POP3, which has 110 as the default port. This protocol is used when we are transferring mails. So when you are sending a mail from your client to your server, and the server is then transferring that to the receiving server. For example, if you're using Outlook, you will use SMTP to transfer the mail from your device to Microsoft server. Microsoft will then transfer it to, for example, Yahoo server, and then the user of the Yahoo mail will then use this to get the last transfer. And then we have POP3, which is the Post Office Protocol tree, and that is basically the protocol used to download mails from the server. So now to the last two protocols that we will go through in this lecture, and these are, as I mentioned, hopefully the ones that you have used the most, because we are using them almost every day when we are online on the internet. So we have HTTP and HTTPS. This is similar to what we discussed with FTP and FTPS, where we have a unsecure version and a more secure version. So for the HTTP we use port 80, and again the TCP protocol. This stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and we use this when communicating in web browsers. You will most likely have seen it when you have, for example, http:/someaddress.com, and you can have https:/something.com, as you see in the picture right here. But HTTP is the unsecure version. So when you are browsing the web, your browser is basically sending a GET request to a server to get the information that you need in order to view this web page. And all a web page is basically a file with some text inside. So your browser will say, hey, I need this file and information because my user is currently going to watch Google, so I need to see what is on the Google page. And all the information that is transferred between you and the server is all in clear text, meaning that anyone can see whatever is getting transferred. So this is not very smart when you are, for example, using PayPal or Facebook or anywhere else where you have personal information and passwords, and that is why we have HTTPS, which uses the standard port 443 over TCP. This is the encrypted version of HTTP, where we have a certificate between the client and the server, and HTTPS makes sure that the information that we are transferring is not in clear text. And as mentioned, this is what is the standard when using banking services or any other service that have personal information. So that is why it's so important to look for this HTTPS and this little lock in the corner, because then you know that at least the certificate between you and the server has been signed and that the communication should be somewhat encrypted. However, there can be some malicious attempts to bypass this, but that is for another lecture. But you should never transfer any personal information or log into any service where you just see a HTTP. And most likely, if you're using Chrome, I don't know if Edge, Microsoft Server browser do this as well, but you will get recommended before logging in that saying, hey, this is an unsecure website, do you want to enter personal information? And also I have read that Google is now displaying search results based on whether people have did HTTPS, because HTTP is not just something that anyone should use anymore, because in these days with so much personal information transferring over the web, we should rely on HTTPS as standard. So this was a lecture about ports and some common protocols that we use. I will see you next time here on Winslow Academy.